I'm Tyler Dinwiddie, live at Thunderbird Show Park, where behind me in the Thunderbird ring, the jump crew is just getting set for the 1.45m 2020 ATCO Cup Grand Prix. Tonight, we'll be finishing off a fantastic week of show jumping here from the 2020 Harvest Welcome. There's been some unbelievable rides that have gone wrong and for the 2020 ATCO Cup Grand Prix. It's been an unbelievable week of show jumping here at the 2020 Harvest Welcome, and all eyes have to be on Katie Laurie this afternoon as she's just dominated all week. However, it's an incredible class with a lot of big names, and everybody's going to be coming out to put their best foot forward and put down not only a championship win today, but take the overall week title. This is all coming up. It's about to get going now. Don't leave your seat. This is going to be an incredible afternoon of show jumping you're not going to want to miss right here from Thunderbird Show Park. And welcome back to Thunderbird Show Park. I'm Tyler Dinwiddie. I'm sitting here with Lynn Massick, and we are in the early stages of our preparation here for this afternoon's 73,000.
Nothing's changed on my end.
Is that this one here?
Yeah.
And then 6 strides going back towards home. Probably ride a little snug for most of the horses. Then they're going to have to make a left turn, go past the outgate again. Again, keeping the time allowed in mind.
And welcome once again, ladies and gentlemen, to the $73,000 ATCO Cup 1.45m Grand Prix. Jumping on this time, we're getting underway with our competition. For our first round of competition.
And then this is another tricky part on the course. They're going to decide whether they're doing 8 or 9 strides to the combination, jumping right towards the signboards, right towards the outgate. Again, probably one of the tougher spots on the course. And then we're going to canter past the outgate. Some of the horses are going to think they're done, and they have to jump a 5 stride right beside the jump crew.
So what's the trouble today, Lynn? I think that this triple right in front of us looks like it's going to be a little awkward getting back into it. And, of course, but it doesn't look as like there's as many tight corners and going deep into the corners as we had last night.
I think the artisan plank will jump careful. I think people need to be a little bit cautious of that. And then again, like I said, 11AB is going to ride a little bit tricky just because of where it's situated in the ring.
There's a couple opportunities to open up a bit out here that we haven't seen before. So where do you think that we're going to be able to save some time?
I think people just really need to be aware of their time allowed from 3 to 4, and again around to the careful artisan planks. And they're going to have to be on it because 79 seconds is not a whole lot of time today to finish this course.
Yeah, it's interesting. I find typically Peter's pretty generous with his time, but 79 seconds is tight. So either he thinks that this is a very manageable course, or he's just trying to put the screws to them a little bit this afternoon.
I think it's got to be a good test with excellent sponsorship. I think we're going to be looking at a good competition here today.
Yeah, it's going to be, again, it's the $73,000 ATCO Cup here at Thunderbird Show Park. It's there's been no new faces obviously this week. We've seen everybody ride multiple times in multiple Grand Prix leading up to this. There's some really good rides that have been happening this week. I mean, obviously Katie Laurie has been just put on a dominant performance and has just been going really well. But I don't know. I think Ben Aslan's probably due to put together a decent ride here, and there's some other big names that could really make a good show for it here. So we should. I'm hoping for a, what do you think, Lynn? Like maybe a 10 or 11 jump off?
Oh, you're going pretty big. 27. You're gonna say 11. I'm gonna push my normal limit. I'm gonna go 9.
All right, well,
And
Karen
here
Lee
we go.
Batten is out to sing us our national anthem, so we're going to let her have her moment, and we will be back.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Well, the patriotism is over with, and we are ready to go. This is one of the last times this year we're going to be able to look out over Thunderbird Show Park and see the all this commotion. So we are awaiting our first horse to come out onto the course here. We have Ben Aslin on Quality H, and like I said, I think he's been putting together some pretty close rides this week with a couple little hiccups here and there, but I think he's due. So we'll see if he can get us going on the right foot here.
This is a 2011-year-old gelding, and this horse jumped his first Grand Prix at Thunderbird this August. So, again, Ben has had some injuries in the past, so he's just getting back at it, and a younger horse. So I think this will be a good test for the horse-rider combination today.
Another one. This one, he always gets me a little bit because he's so calm when he rides. It doesn't look like he's moving quickly, but he gets around he gets around at a pretty good pace. So let's hopefully he sets us off on a good the right foot. And I know that you thought I was real high, but I'll feel pretty good about my 10-11 jump off. He can set us off on a real good pace right off the bat here.
Yeah, I mean, if we could even get up to 12, that would be fantastic. I'm definitely cheering for the clear rounds. I'm not sure. It's jumping a little bit careful today. We'll see.
It was we've had a couple big jump offs earlier in the week, and they proved to be fantastic viewing. And then this morning, of course, just to hop back a couple hours, we had the U25 final this week with the top 5 in the standings all making it through to the jump off. And we had a fantastic jump off there where Carly Stevens snuck in and took herself not only the day but the overall prize.
There's also overall standings for this division as well, Tyler. We'll just have to get that up for you guys. I think it'll be no surprise for you to see who's in the lead.
Yeah, I don't think I don't think anybody's going to be overly surprised to see Katie Laurie, and she's going to be a tough one to knock off today with the success she's been having. But we have our first competitor out there now, so we can start focusing on the event at hand. And this is Ben Aslin on Quality H.
Like I said, he's just going to give him a little tour of the ring, let him know that there's a Liverpool under jump number 9, and coming up to this end of the ring, give him a good vantage point.
Little rub by the cabanas, give everybody a nice little show.
You can see his mom's watching from the sidelines there. She'll be his biggest fan here today. Here we go. Let's go, Quality. Beautiful effort by Quality over jump number 2. Come on, Ben. Great. Just got to keep up the pace a little here to the triple combination. Jumping towards home. The horses are, he has to ride a little bit. Horses sometimes get a little bit bold jumping towards home.
So
No
far,
problem in the 6 strides. Yep.
making it look pretty easy so far.
Nice, efficient turn back around to this careful plank. Now Quality's got to do his job. Oh, and it's almost like he didn't read that top skinny plank.
Well, you called it early, Lynn. You said that one was going to be trouble, so into our favorite Mondrian jump.
Horse put in an excellent effort. He's staying inside, really thinking he's going to be a fast 4 faulter. And then just, that turn didn't quite pan out. It's like he turned the corner and the horse spooked a little bit at the Liverpool. and had an unfortunate 4 faults there.
Well, Quality can't say he wasn't warned. They did have a look prior to the round.
All right, and coming to the last line over by the jump crew. And then 5 strides to finish it off. And again, just a little bit pushed past that distance to the last vertical. That's an unfortunate start for Ben, but he'll be back on a second horse, and then he'll have a better grasp of what the class holds for him.
12 faults, but he did have a 77.73 time, so it was under the time allowed. So we'll see if that's sort of going to set the standard on our pace going around the course today. And we are already up on with our next rider here. We've got Brian Morton on Cadillac, local Langley boy. He was in the jump off under the lights last night. He looked really good, so expect big things from Brian here.
You know, and I think just of note, Ben's time was almost 78 seconds, and the time allowed is 79. And he did choose to do an inside turn to jump number 9. So I think the time is going to be a bit of a factor here today, Tyler.
That is a good point, Lynn. He did really come in tight to 9, so it caused him some trouble in the end, but it might have shaved a little time off. So you're right. We're going to have to really keep an eye on the clock as we go around.
And again, Brian moved to Alberta in early this year. And these are new mounts for him. He's working for Spruce Meadows. It's Spruce Meadows' owned horse. It's a 2010 gelding with a lot of talent, as you can see, as he explodes over jump number 1. They're working on an excellent partnership, though. They've had a good summer, winning some big classes.
Cadillac looks like he's happy to be out there, so that's probably a good sign for Brian.
I'd say Cadillac loves this job. Again, making the triple to the 6th stride look very easy.
Now here's your careful plank.
Keeping his pace up. This horse is experienced, very experienced, and had no problem with that plank. I think the less experienced horses are going to have a little more trouble with that jump, as we saw with Quality. And he's choosing to go around here to jump number 9.
He's on about the same pace as Ben was, so we'll see here now when we're coming down the end what that's going to do to his overall time.
He chooses to do the A size. Wow, did he rattle A jumping in there.
He really got a pop out of that, but it stayed up.
He did one less. It's 8 or 9 strides there, and he chose that. It worked out for him. Just got a little bit lucky. Could be Brian Morton's day today. And easily over the 5 strides there, under the time allowed. But, 77.71. There's our first clear round.
Yeah, extremely close time to what I think that Ben was 77.73. So it looks like there's definitely a consistency in the time, but we've got ourselves a clear round here with still 25 to go. So we've got
Cadillac's very happy with himself as he leaves the ring. He's showing his emotion.
Yeah, he's got quite a nice look at me walk going on. Another one that we are familiar with here, Shauna Cook on Gallop, the horse that goes fast.
This is a 2011-year-old stallion. The stallion's actually sired by the famous Hickstead. It was bred in Alberta by Woodlawn Farms, and Shauna's had this stallion since he was a foal and brought him along, so she's very excited by the progress he's made. She's won quite a few Grand Prix on him this summer back in Alberta. And I think this will just be, wow, he's jumping high today. This will be an excellent experience for for Gallop today. Seven strides to the vertical. Now she needs to keep her foot on the gas pedal here a little bit going into the triple. Like I said, they're usually happy to go home, but just a little rub there at B.
Just looks a little lazy coming down over that one.
I think he just got a little bit green in that combination and just misread it just a little. She's working on her time allowed. Coming around the corner to the careful plank. Wonderful effort there over that oxer. She's going to keep her pace up here. She's coming around. Difficult line leading into the tricky combination back by the outgate. Again, she chooses to do the 8. That worked out for her. The horse jumped very scopy out of that. It's a very wide oxer out of that combination, so they do need to put in a fair bit of effort. And she's not letting up. She's just keeping the pressure on. She's going to be a fast four-faulter here today. A little rub at the last jump, but it stays up.
Yeah, another one that starts with a 77. That seems to be the time today, Lynn. But it's a 77.06. But she does have the 4 jumping faults, so we will maintain with the.
Keep her out of the jump off, but I'd say yeah, she's giving him a big pat. She'll be happy with his overall performance here today.
Yep. So just 3 riders in. Brian Morton, the only clean so far. And up next we have Kyle King, another local regular on Coffee to Go.
Coffee to Go is also owned by Spruce Meadows. Kyle's been paired with this horse last summer, and they've been working on their partnership, and it's really grown. And this is a very scopy, powerful horse. I don't think Kyle and this horse will have much trouble with this course here today. Just let him have a little look at the Liverpool. You can see with those impressive standards, the ATCO standards off to the side, the Liverpool. It's a lot for the horses to look at when they come around the corner. So I think it's an excellent idea by the riders to show them that jump.
And I think we just got the patented Kyle King girth tightening before the round.
There you go.
And let's see here. I'm sure he was a little disappointed with what happened last night. So let's watch for him to come out strong this afternoon.
And again, starting with a really good gallop. I think they're really all thinking about the time allowed. They know it's tight today. Into the triple combination. What an effort by that horse. Wow, fantastic triple. Okay, and now he's got to keep it up around the corner.
Not wasting any time there. Flank stays up.
Again, making up that line, no problem at all. Now, the Liverpool, the impressive Liverpool.
Oh.
Horse just probably stared down into that Liverpool just a little for 4 faults. A little bit patient to that combination. Again, jumped it very nicely. Whoops, little stumble on the land there. It's going to keep going here to this last line. It's really a spot where they can make up a little time allowed to this line. Even though it's a little bit short, horses seem to be jumping that very nicely. All right.
That's our
into second place. That was a fast 4-faulter.
That was a very fast 4-faulter. I think it was our fastest round of the day so far in total. And it's unfortunately he did have the 4 faults, so he won't be carrying on to the jump off. But it was a good ride other than that.
All right. One of my favorites coming into the ring next.
Tiffany Foster on Brighton. Yeah, Tiffany's a always both a fan favorite and a competition favorite whenever she enters the ring. So I'd imagine that this is this will be worth watching for us right here.
And this is a 2006-year-old gelding, Dutch bred. Definitely one of, I mean, Tiffany loves all of her horses, but I'd say this is definitely one of her favorites. This horse knows how to win. We watched him win a lot here in August. He's always a trier. I think he's going to think this course is quite fun to jump today. Just letting him have a little look at the combination, and she's going to wind up and get her gallop going to the first jump. We need to have another clear round so that we have a jump off for Brian.
Oh, we'll get a jump off, Lynn. I'm looking forward to it already.
Does the 7 strides to the tall vertical, no problem so far. Now the first big test on the course, heading to the triple combination. Oxer, 1 stride vertical, 2 strides oxer, beautifully done.
Making it look easy as we expected.
And again, she's always on a good gallop. She's not going to have to worry about the time. Very efficient turn back to this vertical. And again, you can see the experience in that horse. She could risk shaving a bit of time off and be tight, knowing that her horse would be careful at that plank.
Well, a spot where others have had trouble this afternoon already, but she makes it over the Liverpool with ease.
There we go. No problem with that combination either, and she's going to keep the pressure up here going to the last jump.
Looks like she has lots of time as well, so coming down the final line.
Wow, that's really making that course look easy.
That's a 75.56.
very fast.
That's a fast time. That's a clear round, and that means we have a jump off, Lynn. Brian Morton and Tiffany Foster.
That's going to be fast jump off already,
Yeah.
and only 2 have been clean so far. Amazing.
Two of our locals here. They may have left us more recently, but we're still going to claim them for Langley. So we're having a great. We've got a jump off. So away we go. Up next, we've got Meredith Ellis on Castros. Now, I don't believe Meredith rode under the lights last night.
She didn't go with this horse last night, no. It is a bit of a younger horse, and they're a relatively new partnership, and I think she was thinking she could save him for today.
Well, let's see if the strategy pans out. She's taking a good look at the triple here before we get going.
All right. And here goes Meredith. I do love this horse. He's very animated. They're a very good team. She loves this horse. He tries very hard at the jumps. It's going to be great. I hope she can stay under the time allowed and jump a clean round. You can just see he's very interested in his job. His ears are always forward. He's looking ahead and trying his guts out. Making it look easy so far. The triple jumps straight away from us, so it's very easy for us to see if they're staying. That was very straight.
She had a couple of rollers going on there, but they all stay up for now. A bit wider than we've
wide
seen.
here. She's probably a bit nervous about the plank.
No problems, but she might want to. You can't afford to leave too much time out here, so.
Ooh, she did one extra stride there than some people, but it paid off for her. Now she just has to think a little bit about the time, Tyler. She's coming into this difficult. This line isn't so bad, but it leads you into the tricky line to the combination.
So far everything's up, but time is starting to
They're the
get
8
scarce.
strides. Seems like the 8 is the right choice today for most people.
All right, we're going to be real tight here, Lynn.
I think she's going to be just and she has the last jump down. Oh, just under the time allowed. And the last jump down. That's a heartbreak. But what a great performance by Meredith. Look at her smile. She is just so, she's like, darn it. Last jump, and I was under the time.
She had the 0.4 of a second on her side, but unfortunately that last fence proved to be an issue. And up next, we've got, well, I don't think we even need to really make much of an introduction this week. It's Katie Laurie on Sarah Caruso. And I just, on a side note, our favorite one-voweled horse, Macaw MVNZ, is not competing today. So we're going to have to cheer for Katie on a couple other horses.
He won yesterday. She's given him a well-deserved rest today, and she'll give it a shot on this one. This is a 2008 Southern Hemisphere gelding by Casal. So very well-bred horse, and you can see Katie giving him a big pat before she picks up her gallop to start attacking the Peter Holmes course.
I think that all our horses are earning a couple days off here after this one's over.
Katie just moved back to Canada from Australia, and again, it's a funny heritage. She said she was born in England, grew up in New Zealand, and married an Australian, and then now they've moved to Canada in February. So here she is, and she lives in Alberta. So there you go.
And if I think last night we claimed her for Canada now. So
yeah, I tried to take her just for Alberta, but you wanted to share.
Yeah.
Well, here we go into the triple combination. Beautifully straight. Wow, horse is using his hind end very well. A little spicy, this one. I think she likes that. Fights for her all the time. Ooh, a little flat there, but the horse jumped it beautifully. And she just keeps pushing on to the oxer on the side, no problem. Just going to set up a little bit here for this line across the middle.
She was a little more aggressive coming to that than everybody else, but I guess with the confidence she's been building for herself this week, she can do that.
I think this horse is a little bit feisty and wants to fight for her, and she,
Did it come down?
just had that rail. You know, she did the extra stride, and he just got a little bit flat and touched the front rail with his back feet.
Well, that's a definitely unusual.
Rarity.
Definitely unusual for Katie Laurie this week. That's
But
unfortunate.
look how fast her time is.
A 73.91.
Fastest for Falter for sure.
And she will be back, so I don't think that we've definitely haven't heard the last of her. But wow, that's a unusual. So she's been so automatic all week. It's too bad that that had to happen here on the final round that she was going to, or the final day. But
There you go. But she's really still happy with that horse's performance and giving him a big pat on the way out. And we'll see her a little bit later on again.
how can you not be? I think that was. She'll be back on Casebrook Le Monde. And up next, though, we've got Beth Underhill. I know that you're a big fan. It's on Count Me In.
This is a lovely 2007-year-old gelding, and Beth and Count Me In have made the trek from Ontario all the way out west to compete here at the FEI 2-star, and they've been having a pretty good week. I think Beth's due for a good placing in this class, so she'll be hoping for a clear round here today.
I'd also like to point out how much we've matured as broadcasters over the week, that none of us cracked a Count Me In joke as she was starting here.
I'm sure it's coming.
Well, if this is a clear round, I don't think we have a choice but to make it.
So let's hope it is. And again, Beth is the reigning Canadian show jumping champion with this horse, so it's an excellent partnership. She's won numerous Grand Prix on this horse all over North America. As you can see, he just put in a fabulous effort there at jump 2 and jump 3. So Crosby looks ready today. Get him straight to this triple combination. He's also quick in the air, Tyler, so he doesn't waste a bunch of time being up there. He jumps just high enough with enough effort to clear those rails. And again, she needs to just be a little efficient here to this plank. There we go. Good effort there. Yeah, he's getting up in the air very well now. She's got to get him a bit organized for this line. As we said, this oxer's a bit distracting. Get him straight. A little close. 4 strides. And you got a little bit trust your horse's scope here, jumping out through that combination. Beautifully done. And then here's the spot. If you're worried about your time, you can gallop on a little bit here. Jump a nice oxer and have a bit of a steady 5. Don't take the last jump for granted. There we go. And under the time allowed. Nicely done.
77-28, and then there were 3. Beth Underhill is going to be joining Tiffany Foster and Brian Morton for a jump-off later today. And I mean, already this is shaping up to be a fun one. So let's just keep these numbers growing so we can have end this on some high entertainment.
Yeah, and Crosby looks very proud of himself. Beth's giving him a little pat as she makes her way out of the ring.
Well, up next, we have Aramis de Beneville with Braden.
Aramis, remember, we've had this talk. Tyler.
I take it back what I said about maturing as a broadcaster, apparently. Anyway, Aramis de Beneville. I won't mess this up again. When he's in the jump off later, I'll nail it first
That's right. And this horse is ridden and owned by Braden James. It's a 2010-year-old Self Francais gelding. And Braden's also just recently moved back to Canada. He's been living and training in Europe for the past 8 years. So he's had invaluable experience learning over there from the best. And let's expect great things from Braden here today.
Aramis looks serious. It's a good sign. Little hop there. I like that. I like it when they give you a little kick off and lets me know that they're ready to go.
All right, as he's coming up to the Volvo signature jump, you can see it is a big scopy horse. So far he's been making it look pretty easy, the first 2 oxers. Now again, the first real test is coming up here at 4ABC. Braden's got to keep him straight. Little reach there over that oxer. Really nice so far. His time's looking pretty good with this one. It's got a pretty big step. Again, this careful plank. Nicely done. Okay, it's going to set him up for this distracting number 9 jump.
No problem.
Let's hope the horse focuses here and uses his scope. Yeah, made that also look very easy. Now again, I don't think he needs to worry about the time, but he is carrying that gallop here into this last line.
I wouldn't back off any. This is going to be close to that time.
Leave the last jump up.
Oh,
And he gives
touched
it
a
a
little
rattle.
77-68.
Another player.
And
You could
as
practice that
I
name.
said that we would be going to the Aramis de Beneval would be back in the jump off, and I'd have another opportunity to get his name right. And we're just going to pause for a quick break here from our sponsors, and we'll be back.
Integrity, caring, agility, collaboration. Every day, our people go to work delivering inspired solutions in structures and logistics, electricity, natural gas, retail energy, and ports and transportation to homes, businesses, and communities around the world. Find out more at atco.com.
We designed the all-new S60 to help you see things, hear things, and feel things differently. Because doing things differently is the only way to find yourself somewhere new.
Integrity, caring, agility, collaboration. Every day, our people go to work delivering inspired solutions in structures and logistics, electricity, natural gas, retail energy, and ports and transportation to homes, businesses, and communities around the world. Find out more at atco.com.
Well, thank you again to our wonderful sponsors, ATCO and Volvo. ATCO Cup this afternoon. It's a $73,000 Meteor 45 Grand Prix again, designed by Peter Holmes. And so far, we've had a lot of fun. We've got out of our first 9 horses, we've got 3 returning. That's Brian Morton. Oh, sorry, of course, Braden James just came through. So we've got 4 returning. Brian Morton, we've got Tiffany Foster, we have Beth Underhill, and we have Braden James. And the next to attack the course coming out right now is Stephanie Valdez on Ducati 2-4.
And Ducati is a 2009 gelding that Stephanie just acquired this winter in Florida. And what a great horse it's been for Stephanie. She has had just a fantastic 2 weeks on this horse. She got to jump her first class under the lights last night. She gets to compete in this wonderful class. I think Steph is just so happy with how her riding career is going and her horses. And this horse has a fabulous tail, just as a side note.
It looks like a very regal animal. He looks very proud.
Now, Steph's going to really need to keep her eye on the time allowed. This horse has a big stride. He's super scopy. He's a lovely, lovely animal. Always gives her a great effort. But sometimes Steph turns a little wide. So let's hope she can keep it a bit tight and join everybody in the jump off here today. Ooh, as you can see, way up over 1. Rattled that. Okay, Steph, let's get going here. Yeah, you know, I think that rattled her a little bit too. Both her and the horse got a little rattled. She jumped very high at the first jump.
Did she ever? She came down so vertically that the rail just popped straight in the air and went right back into its own cup.
Now she's going to regroup, and we'll try this again here. Heading off to number 2. Again, the horse is really jumping today. She's going to need to keep the pressure on a little bit. Keep him right ahead of her leg here. Give him a good shot in the triple, and hopefully the jump levels out a little bit. Oh, Steph, get your head up. Get your head up, Steph. Good save.
A lot going on with this one.
He's just jumping very high and jumping her a little bit loose out of the tack, but she's doing a good job to keep going. She's just got to keep galloping and keep her foot on the gas, and she's just going to call it a day. Going to make a little circle and voluntarily retire. And you know what, Tyler, some days it's just not your day, and I'm sure we'll see Steph back on this horse with great things to come. As you can see, the height is not the problem.
No, absolutely not. There was A lot going on in that ride. Stephanie's going to leave us for now. And up next here we have our first entrant in, returning with his second horse. It's Ben Aslan on Veyron. And again, like I think he's due to come through with one here. So hopefully we can see Ben put together a nice, clean, fast round.
You know, quick turnaround for him, having to be first and then again to be 11th. So hopefully he can't dwell on what happened with the first round. And this is just a fantastic stallion, 2006-year-old stallion. And Ben's had a long time partnership with this horse. This horse is just, I can't say enough good things about him. He's fabulous. He tries hard. He's beautiful. So let's hope he'll jump a clean round here for Ben today, and we can keep him under the time allowed as well. Nice gallop to the first jump. 9 nice strides to the Volvo. Easily up over our vertical. Now again, they just have to get them a little bit focused for their first big test on the course.
Nice and easy.
They're all actually being very straight down there. That's excellent. Efficient around to this plank. Hopefully Veyron can read it. Yep, no problem for a bit more experienced horse.
If I remember correctly, Ben got in a little trouble at the Liverpool his first time
Yeah,
around.
I
So
think
see
he's
what
going to
learned.
go a little wider. I think he was really worried about the time allowed on the last horse. So he's taking a little more time. And
he went inside the
Yeah,
T-Bird, I
he
think,
sure
last
did.
time. And this time he's navigated it no problem. So.
Come on, get up. Little scope there. Good ride there, Ben. Come on, Veyron.
All right, let's keep these two
Keep it together here for the last 2 jumps. Great. Oh, and a little rub, but it stays up, and he's just under the time allowed. Thank goodness. There's our fifth clean round today.
As we've been saying all week, 4/10 of a second is still 4/10 of a second. We're in
Under is
under.
under.
Ben's,
That's right.
Ben's joining us for a
Yay.
jump off. I figured he was due. I'm glad to see him. I'm happy for Ben. I'm happy for Veyron. He'll be coming through, and that's 5 and a jump off now. We are starting to put together a real field here that's going to be coming back after these first rounds. And of course, we're continuing on here. Jacqueline Duff's already out and ready to go on Venus de Gou.
And Venus is a 2,000-year-old Self-Francais mare. And Jacqueline's had this horse for a few years, and she's won some meter 45 classes on this horse in Wellington. She has multiple national meter 40, meter 45 placings and wins on this horse. So it's a very competitive duo if we can get them clear into the jump-off.
The more the merrier, that's what I say, Lynn. Let's pack this thing up and get a real competition going to close this week out here.
And Jacqueline is from Edmonton. She does live in Calgary at the moment, but she does hail from my hometown, so I always have a little extra cheer for Jacqueline going on here.
Oh, really? Are you partial towards Alberta?
You know she is an Oilers fan.
Yeah, I think that's come up already a couple times this week,
Here
too.
we go. She's got to keep her focus here. She was getting a bit distracted to the Volvo Oxer. Mare looks a little feisty today.
Yeah, got a little spirit.
Riding her into the triple a little bit hard, but the mare should back up nicely for her. Okay, now she's got to think. Time shouldn't be a problem with this horse. Pretty efficient around back to the careful planks. Up over the Oxer.
There's that spirit coming out again.
Yeah,
Whoa.
she's a little feisty. You know, the Jacqueline's fighting with her a little bit today, but so far it's working out.
Came in hot to our Mondrian jump.
The Liverpool. Little rub there at jump number 10. Hopefully that reminds the mare to pick her feet up here at this combination.
I was holding my breath for her.
That
and
worked
stayed
out
up.
for her. There, she's just got to keep it together here for these last 2 jumps.
I think we got to move a little. We're getting a little behind on the time, unfortunately.
Good. Nice jump at the Oxer. And up. Oh, a little rub at the last jump too, and over the time allowed. Darn it, 1 time full.
Just a little bit over the time allowed. That's unfortunate because it was a pretty nice ride. She had to really ride that
I think,
horse.
I think they were having a little disagreement on a few places where Jacqueline would have liked to have been a bit tighter for the time, but again, I think she's quite happy. Nice place for the mare to finish out at this horse show.
Yeah, Venus had a little bit of attitude for her this morning. He was really making her ride him. And up next, I'm going to get this one for you again. Rachel Cornacchia on Valkyrie de Talma.
There you go. And this is just a phenomenal combination that just walked into the ring. Very competitive. They know each other very well. Rachel's had this mare for a few years, 2009-year-old mare. And if Rachel gets in the jump off, I think she'll give everybody a pretty good run for their money here today, Tyler.
Well, let's do it, Rachel. We need this. I need this to get padded right up to 10 or 11, although I think we're on a pretty good pace for that right now.
We're halfway for your numbers.
Yeah, five in. We're not quite halfway through the class just yet, so we're on a good pace.
And it's like we're in a cloud watching this class. It's not raining, but there's definitely misting in the air.
It's nice fall conditions. It feels like BC today, so it's we're getting exactly what you'd want out of an event called the Harvest Welcome, I think.
One extra stride there to jump number 2. Again, this mare's fighting with her a little bit today too, so hopefully she can get her focus as she concentrates to head on down to the triple combination. There we go. Beautifully done. And straight as an arrow down there. That was very well done.
It's
Nice and tight back to the careful plank. Yeah, no trouble for that mare. All right, and then she's got to get herself a bit organized. The Liverpool line. Little wide there. Worked out for her. And the 8th stride seems to be working to that combination. And then here we got to step on the gas a little to stay under the time allowed.
No need to rush just yet. Oh, got up there a little bit.
And there we go. Yeah, under the time allowed. There's our 6th clear round. Good job, Rachel.
Rachel Cornacchia, Valkyrie de Talma. They're coming back. That's an even half dozen now that we have in the jump off. This is shaping up to be a pretty exciting finish to our afternoon.
It won't be boring. That is for darn sure.
And here's another one that wouldn't shock me at all to make it an even 7 because it's Tiffany Foster coming back on Northern Light. I know that you're going to have good things to say about this one now, as you always do.
It's a 2011-year-old mare. It's definitely one of Tiffany's favorites. She just loves this mare. She says she's really looking forward to the future together, and I think we're all very lucky to be able to watch them progress and move along in their career. And there'll be a day, Tyler, we'd be like, I commentated for that horse one day.
Well, Tiffany's no stranger to success. We've seen her ride extremely well for Canada, the Nations Cup, just on the grass field over here, and Tiffany knows how to win. So she may. I'm not going to be at all surprised to see her put another one in the jump off here this afternoon.
And again, this is only a 9-year-old mare, so not that experienced. So it's great that she gets to practice in classes like this here at Thunderbird Show Park. Invaluable experience she's gaining. Wow. It's a fantastic jumper, this horse.
Both this
Lost her focus a little bit coming into the triple and shifted a little right. Wow, what an effort that horse put in to jump that clean. She was almost looking at the paintbrush oxer as Tiff turned her to the triple. So good riding by Tiffany, good effort by the mare to get through there clean.
Both times through for her on the triple. She's taken a very aggressive line into it, not wide at all.
Oof. And again, we watched this horse win a few classes this summer out here, and she can definitely go fast. And like I said, it's the best experience this horse can get, jumping at a nice venue like this over lovely courses with a great pilot. She's just taking a little bit of time there. She went a little wide. She just really wanted to make sure she was organized, I think, so she didn't get shocked like she did at the triple.
Absolutely, and she has time to spare, so it was probably a wise move not to rush through that.
And then up to the last vertical, and there we go.
Absolutely, no
Tiffany's
problem at
got
all.
2 through to the jump off. So it's going to be a good day for Tiff.
76 is her time, and Tiffany Foster joins herself and 5 others here for a jump off that's growing rapidly here.
And
We're
look
up
at
to
that.
7.
You can see her smile. It says it all. She's just thrilled with that mare's performance. She tried very hard. That was an excellent round.
It's a great round. She's happy. She can't get the smile off her face, so she's coming back twice. Our jump off grows, and up next we have Emily Ward, Million in Mind, and she's another one that's had a pretty successful week out here, and I imagine she's going to be pretty eager to get in with her coach.
Yeah, this horse is a little bit feisty. I think she really enjoys riding this horse. It's 2007-year-old Irish sport horse gelding. Stephen Barnes owns this horse. And Emily's had excellent placings on this horse. It's a great partnership. So I think we'll be adding another one to her jump off as long as she can stay under the time allowed.
Well, I sure hope so. She was a lot of fun this morning, and she's got, as we've mentioned a little bit all week, they've been spending a lot of time around Thunderbird Show Park over the last few months, so she's got to be comfortable, feeling a little bit like she's at home.
No problem, does the 9 strides. So far making it look easy, like I said. Just got to make sure she can get straight. Wow. No, she's riding a bit to that yellow walk, so you can see jumping into that end. He was backing off a little bit. She's going to be fishing back. I don't think time's going to be a problem, Tyler. Again, experienced horse, really can read those planks. Emily's really keeping the gallop up on this horse, and it's paying off.
Looks very comfortable out there. Looks like they're both having fun. This is a fun one to watch.
This horse loves his job, I'd say. Very keen to keep going.
She's moving quickly too. I think this is one of the quicker we've seen go around so far today. So
again, no problem with that double jumping into the end. It's galloping past the outgate. It's got to keep the focus up, like I said, so they don't think they're finished. 1 jump left.
And there we have it.
There we go, adding another one to our list.
A very quick 75-95. She looked great out there. They looked like they were having fun. Emily Ward's going to be number 8 on our jump-off list. That's Emily Ward on Million in Mind. This is really shaping up, Lynn. This is going to be a fun jump-off when we get there.
This is going to be fast, let me tell you.
And as usual, we seem to get little blocks where we all hit in a row. So that was 3 in a row that come in the jump-off, and now Kyle King and Enzo. We'll see if they can make it 4 in a row for us.
The 2009 Dutch bred gelding, and it's owned by Seabright Investment Consultants Limited. And Kyle's been partnered with this horse for about 2 seasons. He's a little bit green at the Grand Prix level, but again, it's just invaluable experience that these horses get jumping these lovely tracks that Peter's built at a fantastic facility like Thunderbird Show Park.
Kyle came through a little earlier on Coffee to Go, and he did have 4 jumping faults, so we'll see if he can put something together clean, learn from his mistakes, learn from what he's been watching for the rest of the afternoon, and see if we can add a 9th into our jump off here.
And again, you can see the riders, they're all carrying a pretty good gallop, knowing about the time allowed and really wanting to stay on their pace and keep their horses focused on their task at hand. A little bit greener horse jumping into the ends. Like, we'll see how he handles the triple and the yellow ox are jumping right into the signage at the end. Great effort through the triple. Yeah, no problem. Now he's thinking about his time. The careful plank here. You got to give the younger horses a minute to read it. Perfect.
It's a very consistent course today. We haven't seen so much an overall issue in specific, but it seems like you have to put together a complete ride to really come through clean and on time.
Here we go, coming into the 4 stride. Walks up there in the 8. Okay,
all right,
and then
Kyle.
galloping along. Time should be all right. You can see the horse run into the outgate a little bit. Kyle fixed that little wiggle, but then got a little closer to the red oxer. Now he's got to ride a little at the vertical.
Time is okay.
And I think Kyle picked him up and made him jump that last vertical clean. There we go. We got another one. Kyle's going to be happy he made it into the jump off today.
He came right by the front of the booth here, and he definitely had a look of relief on his face. So there's 4 in a row. We're hitting our pocket here. Kyle King and Enzo are going to be joining us in the jump off here this afternoon.
Yeah, definitely. I think Kyle jumped the last jump clean. Uh-oh, here comes your favorite coming up next.
Justin Prather and Easy Ace. This one's fun all the way through. We got through to the jump off last night. I don't know if he was lightning fast in the jump off. Did have 4 faults, but we're going to give it another kick at the can here. Let's see if Justin can rip Easy Ace around this course and keep everything up. This is just a lot of fun for everybody watching. I can guarantee you this horse is going to show some personality, and it's going to go fast. So
It's 2010 gelding, and Braden Equestrian owns this horse. And I think Justin's been partnered with this horse for quite a long time. He knows this horse knows him, so be looking for his time will definitely not be slow.
oh, there's a little hop in the corner. I love it. Let's go easy.
There we go. Giving it Justin a little sass.
It's like he's saying, just hold on. I got this.
Did one extra stride there. See,
We'll make
he's
it
wanting
up.
to fight Justin just a little bit. Hopefully, Easy Ace has enough spring left in his.
Quite quick
There
into
we
that
go.
triple. Then we're messing around. Oh, a little
You
low.
know, almost a little bit too much. He almost just needed to maybe give that horse one more second there. I was saying the horse jumped a little bit flat at jump number 2, so just needed a little more time.
Real tight corner back here. I'm still holding on here. I think this is going to be a quick.
Ooh, and then a little flat there to that ox. Okay, Justin just needs to settle down and finish this course with a little smoothness, give the horse a little confidence.
He really doesn't back off much.
There, nice ride into the double.
Really fast. Like we're just hitting 60
I think
seconds
Justin
right now.
just really worries a lot about the time, and sometimes maybe just needs to give himself just an extra second or two.
Oh, a little.
Oh, a little rub on the last jump and it stays up. But again, a very fast 4 faulter.
Extremely fast
But
four
still
faulter.
4 faults. He's not going to be joining us in the jump off. But I think an excellent competition. Great week for Justin. And we'll see him back in the future.
I mean, just as just for all fans and everybody, it's just a great entertaining. It's a fun duo to watch, and for everything else, it's been a great week just watching him come around here. The horse has spirit. He puts together fun, fast rides. That was a 72-73. That was unbelievably quick, and it's too bad he couldn't have put it together just enough to pull that speed into the jump off this afternoon. Next we have Tracy Epp on Chicago. A couple names that I don't have problems saying. I like that one.
2007-year-old stallion. Tracy's been partnered by this horse for 5 years, so they know each other very well. They've been jumping Grand Prix for pretty much the whole 5 years that she's had him, and she just loves this horse. So I'm hoping for the best for Tracy. She gets to head off down to sunny California here next week, so send her out of BC on a happy note with a clear round and into the jump off.
That doesn't sound half bad right now, that trip to California.
Just a nice smooth line there from 1 to 2. Chicago looks like he's ready for the task at hand. So one thing about stallions is they do need to keep their focus as they're going around. There, lovely shot into the triple. Keep him a little straight there, Trace. He's going a little right. Great, easily down the 6th stride. He's experienced enough to pay attention to this plank here. Great.
That's a good tight corner coming into that plank as well.
They're really nice. Come on, Chicago. Part way there. She's got to get him where she wants him here. She's a little crooked coming in there. A little off to the right. There,
Oh.
You know, and she stayed wide. I talked to her earlier, and she was going to try to do 9, and then I think she ended up doing the 8 and just got a little bit flat and at the front rail of B. That's really unfortunate because the horse is right on target today. Oh, so 1 down, under the time allowed.
Just under the time allowed. We did have that 4 faulter. You know, I've noticed this afternoon, Lynn, is I don't think the totem pole's jumps have come down yet. But I really find myself holding my breath every time that we've seen the horses cover at different times the whole width of the jump, and it's shaken and it's rolled, but it's managed to stay up the whole time.
And here comes Alicia Blassie into the ring on Cardino.
Goodness, they're out here having fun, aren't
yeah,
they?
he gave her a little sass yesterday when she went to come in the ring, so I think she wanted to make sure she got up to this end with no problem at all. So Alicia just purchased this horse. It's a 2011-year-old gelding. She got this horse just this winter, and I believe Thermal was her first horse show on it. So they did some Grand Prix down there, so it's a relatively new partnership, but they do have some experience at this level. So Alicia will definitely be hoping for a clean round under the time allowed today. All right. Here she goes on course. Oh, and just giving him a little tap. You know, I think she was trying to do one last stride and he wasn't listening, so she had to go a bit wide. Lost his focus there a little bit and had to get it go to the stick. Now hopefully they can both stay on task here through the triple combination. Again, little whip on the shoulder to help her through. Paid off for her. And gallop around the end. Again, experienced horse shouldn't have a problem with this jump. Oh, just cut down a little bit quick there on the back row. It was almost like she was turning a bit fast to this oxer. And he just cut down with his back feet. There we go. Nice and straight down the middle of that line, Tyler. No problem with that combination. And again, she's just going to keep her pace up as she passes the outgate. Make him stay focused on the last two jumps on course. Easily up over the last jump. Darn it, 2 down, under the time allowed. But again, great experience. Every time she goes in the ring, she's getting more miles. It's a lovely horse, and we'll definitely see more of her in the future.
Well, as the jump crew rushes out to put everything back together. And again, this is the $73,000 ATCO Cup Meter 45 Grand Prix at Thunderbird Show Park as a part of the Harvest Welcome. And let's just take a minute to thank our sponsors.
Integrity, caring, agility, collaboration. Every day, our people go to work delivering inspired solutions in structures and logistics, electricity, natural gas, retail energy, and ports and transportation to homes, businesses, and communities around the world. Find out more at atco.com.
Conventional wisdom says you can't make a 400 horsepower sedan that's also environmentally conscious. We don't follow conventional wisdom.
Integrity, caring, agility, collaboration. Every day, our people go to work delivering inspired solutions in structures and logistics, electricity, natural gas, retail energy, and ports and transportation to homes, businesses, and communities around the world. Find out more at atco.com.
Conventional wisdom says you can't make a 400 horsepower sedan that's also environmentally conscious. We don't follow conventional wisdom.
And we are back. $73,000 ATCO Cup Meter 45 Grand Prix at Thunderbird Show Park. A quick look here at the leaderboard and who's returning for our jump off. We're sitting at a pretty good one here, Lynn. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. So we're sitting at 8 now. We still have 8 riders to go. And up next here we got our
9. We have 9. Sorry, Tyler, not to correct you, but
no,
you just
9.
missed one
I jumped
there.
over on the. I'm sorry. I got to get my counts right at some point here. But up next we got one of our favorites here. Somebody who's been dominating all week long. It's Katie Laurie on Casebrook Le Mans.
And this is, again, a 2008 Southern Hemisphere bred stallion. It's a fantastic horse. This you're going to like this horse too. You haven't seen him too much, but he has a little bit of sass and a lot of attitude and amazing amount of effort. He tries so hard for Katie. It's an excellent partnership. I'd be counting on this one to get in the jump off.
Well, this was one of the last Sunday, a week ago today. When she went 4 for 4 into the jump off. This is one of the ones she brought through. So I'm expecting big things from Katie here.
He's always ready to go. Wow, a little up and down over jump number 1. She's going to have to get him going a little more forward. You know, he hasn't jumped for a few days. A little bit fresh, a little bit impressed. So she's just, there we go. Now we seem to be leveling out, which is great coming into the triple combination going towards home. Little close. Wow, he's really trying hard for her today. She's got to ride a little to get out. Whew, fantastic. Beautifully done. And again, she's going to make sure that he's paying attention here to this careful plank. There we go. Just makes that look easy.
Into the piet.
Beautifully done. She's getting him nice and straight here for this 4 stride. Just a little bit wrestling with him, saying, hey, pay attention. This combination is going to take a little effort, and both of them worked pretty hard there, but it paid off. And again, coming in hot to the last line. Whew! Little twist, but he made it, and easily over the last vertical. There we go, 76.95. There's another player for us in the jump off. We're up to 10.
Well, I can't say I'm surprised there. The more surprising thing is that she's not in it twice, quite frankly, after everything that she's been doing here all week. But that was...
that took a bit of work, though. He was a bit fresh, and she had to keep him on the straight and narrow there. Good riding.
It was still fun to watch, and she's through. That's an even 10 in the jump off. We've got, what do we have left here? 6 remaining, and up next is Lisa Carlson on live stream 2.
And this is, Lisa started riding this horse, I want to say earlier this year, and has jumped quite a few Grand Prix on this horse. She loves this horse. It's super fun for her. Has a lot of effort, tries really hard. Can't say enough good things about this team. I know Lisa was injured in August, and this is her first or second horse show back, and her ankle's been a little bit sore. She broke her fibula, and she's back at it, looking stronger than ever. She won a class the other day, so she's working hard, and she'll definitely, if she can get in the jump off, she is going to go fast. There we go. Went a little wide from 1 to 2. Oh, and then that's definitely not what she meant. You know, she went a little wide from 1 to 2, and then I think that kind of just messed up her line there to the vertical. Now she's going to have to keep both of him focused here into the triple. Beautifully straight. It's not a normal mistake for either of them to make, to have that jump number 3 down. Just wonder if her ankle's bugging her. That was getting him off her right leg, and just pushed into her a little bit.
So on this plank here on the Artisan's jump, I've noticed it's quite significantly skinnier than the other
sure
planks
is.
we've been.
Yep.
Does that make a big difference to the rider approaching it?
It's just harder for the horses to read that skinny plank. It's harder for them to see it.
If I spend on
They
a black
have to really
one,
concentrate. Yeah, and
and a
black
black
as
one
well.
on a dark day as it is.
Okay, and she went quite wide to this combination.
Yes.
Again, I'm not 100% sure that's where she wanted to go, but she did make it work. He jumped that combination beautifully. And
Well,
coming home carrying 4 faults. Just made that line look very easy. She's going to be a little upset with her ride. You can see her looking down, giving him a pat, saying, darn it.
And
a time fault as
five
well.
5/100ths of a second of a time fault. It's amazing. You know, maybe when she came a little bit wide before the final combination, maybe just to throw enough. I mean, it's 5/100ths of a second. You
Yeah.
could probably get that back anywhere.
You know, and just, I think, you know what? I think she had a great experience here this last 2 weeks, and she's going to be heading south to do a little more competing. So we'll see more of Lisa in live stream in the future.
Another returner for us here. It feels like it wasn't that long ago since we saw her last. It's Stephanie Valdez on Cyber Lady Z.
Now, Steph's first horse, Ducati, jumped extremely high over the first few jumps, and Steph chose to try again another day, so I think she'll be looking for an excellent finish with Cyber Lady here. She's had Cyber Lady in 2017, so they have an excellent partnership, and she's brought her up to these ranks. It's a fantastic mare. They're a great partnership, and let's hope Steph, come on Steph, you can keep it under the time allowed and get in the jump off with everybody else. There, she's just going to let her have a little look at the triple.
We're still sitting at a solid 10 here for the jump off with Katie Laurie and Casebrook Lamont bringing us into double digits a few minutes ago. So let's see if we can hit that 11 spot with Stephanie Valdez.
Like I said, there's a lot to be said about a great partnership, and Steph loves this mare, and this mare tries hard for her every day, so let's hope it pays off. Good ride in there, Steph. All right, now they're going to get a little focus here for the triple combination. Hope she gets a good shot in. Beautifully done.
That was a lot of, oh, that's unfortunate.
Just unfortunate. Little rub there at B and it fell down. You can see she's a little wiggly down that line, Tyler, so maybe just didn't have her quite as straight and square as she wanted to at B.
Real cautious coming over to the plank here.
No problem at all. Again, a little bit steadier there than she wanted to. She needs to just get that gallop going again here. She heads down to the 4 stride.
Touch. We're going to have to start watching the clock here a little bit as well.
She chooses to do the 8 strides. That paid off for her very nicely to the double. Now she's just got to keep the gallop going here. 2 more jumps. There we go. Whoa, whoa. You know, and the mare just jumped a little left, and I think she jumped Steph just a hair loose, and Steph just chose to make a circle there, regroup, and finish with the last jump. Probably the best choice. You know, already being on 4 faults, she's going in to just get the practice and the mileage, and better to be safe than sorry.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and a nice
There we
finish
go.
for Steph. Good for her. Big class for her on both her horses. You know, and like I said, invaluable experience, and we'll see Steph back in the future for sure.
Yeah, a little hiccup at 4B, and then a little trouble at the final fence. Other than that, she looked pretty comfortable out there, and we will see Stephanie again. And up next, we've got someone who's already put one away this morning in dramatic fashion. We have Carly Stevens and Atene de l'Hermitage.
And this is a 2010 mare. She's self-Francais bred as well. She's fairly new to Carly. Carly only got her in February, and Carly says she has a bit of an attitude, but it's sensible. So let's hope that pays off. I quite like this mare. I think she's very talented. She's a great partnership for Carly. And like as I said before, Carly has a great string of horses. She just was the U25 overall winner this morning. Great up-and-coming rider to watch.
Yeah, this morning she came in 5th spot in the standings in the U25 and stole it out for everybody. And in a strange position, she was the first to go in the jump off this morning, set the standard, and nobody could catch her. So it was a congratulations to Carly. It was a really fun event this morning.
It's funny, some of them are really exploding over that first jump. Giving a very good effort there, showing they're ready for the task at hand. Whew. This mare looks like she's on fire today. Come on, Carly, let's keep it up.
Nice and smooth through the triple.
Very easily down that 6 stride. That yellow oxer really hasn't posed much of a problem, Tyler. Thought that might ride a little short, but no problem at all. She's a little wide to this plank. Good thing the mare was very sensible there. Yeah, really good. Now she's got to get her set up for the 4 stride. Again, a little bit distracting this jump. Great. Little rub, but it stayed up. Does the 8 strides, no problem. Get up over that oxer. Oh, how did that fall down? A fell down. Now
Yeah,
that was,
it had a
she
pretty
touched it. Yeah, she touched it with her back feet on the way down, and it rolled and
It took a minute. It
fell
thought
down.
about it. It thought about it for a
she's gonna think
minute.
she's clean too. This is heartbreaking for Carly. Darn it.
Time's good, just barely, but she did have the 4 faults on the front part of the combination here near the end, and it was which is too bad because it really thought about it for a minute. It didn't want to go down, but it.
But you know what? I think great experience for Carly. What a good 2 weeks she's had as she's going to head home and head back to school. I think she'll be thrilled with that, and we'll see her. I think we'll see a lot of Carly Stevens here in the future.
Yeah, and again, congratulations to Carly, our Trademark Stables and Friends U25 final champion from this morning, and she was. They really put on a great show. So, no matter what, she's got to go home feeling like it was a successful couple weeks out here at Thunderbird Show Park. And up next, it was our final competitor last night, and he came through into the jump off. It's Christopher Lowe, and he's on Cunningham 4.
Now this has got to be a fan favorite. Christopher Lowe's been riding here at Thunderbird for many years. This Cunningham 4 is a 10-year-old Holsteiner gelding. Chris has owned him since he was 5 years old, and he's had a lot of success in this meter 45 divisions at Spruce Meadows, Thunderbird, and in California. He also competes as an amateur because he's a full-time stockbroker and a dad and a husband. So Chris has a lot on his plate, a little wiggly here to the second jump. And he's also trained by Little Creek Equestrian and Tiffany Foster. So yesterday he beat her by, I think, 1/100th of a second. And let me tell you, he wasn't going to let her live that down. So let's hope they get in the jump off and have it out of their face off here this afternoon. It'll be very entertaining for us.
We've really had a week for times. Like, there's been a lot of really tight times. We've been talking about hundredths of a second a lot this week. So it's been great competition for everybody out here.
I'm not sure he's ever going to let her forget that he beat her by 1/100th of a second. So let's just hope they can make up for it again today. Haven't seen his token elbow flap yet. I'm sure he'll be waiting for that till the jump off. Come on, Cunningham. Let's get you in there. It'll make it exciting for everybody.
Little slow coming into the Liverpool. Hopefully that doesn't catch up with him later.
Tyler, you're probably lucky Chris has this horse and can be in this class, or you might get fired and he'll be back doing the commentating with me again. We did it a few years ago. Here we go. Come on, Chris. Let's keep it together. Let's stay under the time allowed and get these last two jumps jumped clean. Come on, Cunningham. Good job.
Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's
Up.
go, let's go, let's
Good.
go,
Yeah,
let's
and,
go. And,
oh, no. As he just beat Tiffany by that 1/100th, and he's just 0.15 over the time allowed. You can
Goodness.
see his heart break.
Oh.
That is so sad.
He had to do a double take looking back
Yeah.
over his shoulder because he can't believe it. You just can't, again, as seems to be the theme of the week, you just cannot take anything off in these
No.
tracks. And I think he came a little bit wide coming around back into the Liverpool.
Darn
and
it.
I saw it when it was happening, and it cost him by 15/100ths of a second this time. It's
Chris is just going to be thrilled, though, with his 2 weeks. His horse has jumped phenomenal,
Yep.
and he's had great placing, so good for him. He's currently sitting in 11th.
great show he put on last night under the lights when he came in with the last round through and pushed into the jump off, and then again today with just over 1/10 of a second we're talking here, and that's a heartbreaker. But again, returning from last night, another one we had in the jump off. It's Jim Ifko on Diamant de Forêt.
And this is a 2008-year-old stallion, so a few stallions in this class here today, Tyler. He's done a fair bit of breeding this year. Jim and Rachel had an excellent show season in Florida, and then haven't done that much this summer. So, again, just kind of getting back in the groove of things. And Jimmy was very competitive last night in the jump-off, so I really hope he makes it clear, because he'll coming in later in the class. He'll definitely make it give everybody a challenge. No one's going to be able to take their foot off the gas if we can get him into the jump-off later here.
And this horse has shown a little spirit all week too, I guess, as you could
It's
expect
a
out of a stallion.
fantastic horse. Yeah, it's a great horse. Super
He's
jumper, very careful.
He keeps his foot down here, right? He's going, very, very wide to the liver. Oh, sorry, I'm ahead of myself.
You're a little
in the
ahead of
cars. I
yourself
was like,
there.
oh goodness, he's going all over the place. But
See, he gives the triple lots of air time. Now he's got to stay a little bit tighter here to the plank. He carries really good ground speed, though, so I think his time is going to be fine.
Yeah, he's on a good clip here.
There. Oh.
Oh.
And again, we saw that earlier in the class. Almost like they're looking for the line to that, and he just turned a little in the air, and the back feet just touched the back rail. What a heartbreak. Riding on 4 faults here. The horse just got a little ahead of himself and just had that unfortunate 4 faults. Oh, and again, he's just almost a little on the job. Like, I almost wonder if yesterday going so fast just got him maybe a hair unfocused. He's just the horse is thinking it's a speed class today.
Yeah, like he's.
That's really too bad. But you know what? Every time he gets to go in the ring, it's good mileage, and Jimmy will be back many more times with this horse.
Well, that's unfortunate. It's extremely fast time. Time was never going to be an issue, but he does have the 12 faults, so Jim Ifko will not be returning for us. And as far as falters go, I don't know if anybody's going to be able to shave off that 0.15 seconds and 1 fault that Christopher Lowe has. Up next, we got a returner here, Brian Morton, Cruisador Z. This is the horse that he competed on last night in our jump off. Real exciting pair here. I think this one should be pretty fun to watch as well.
This is a great mare. Spruce Meadows owned again. Brian's riding for Spruce Meadows now. 2009-year-old Zangerzide mare by Choco Blue. Again, new partnership. Brian just started there this winter. He's really formed a great partnership with this mare, though, and kind of they're working as a great team. So I suspect we'll see a very good effort by Cruisador today.
Well, Brian was in our was our second to go today, and he already has one clear with Cadillac. So let's see if he can add another horse here to the jump off.
This mare has so much scope. You can just see her jumping these big wide oxers with ease way up in the air. Whew, beautifully done. Get her nice and straight here to the triple combination. Again, no problem. She has scope to burn there. She makes that just look easy. Again, galloping around, just keeping an eye on his time. Oh, just didn't quite read that plank. Maybe got a little closer than he wanted to, and unfortunately just pushes that artisan plank out of the way. Whew. It's too bad because she's jumping everything else with lots to spare.
Well, you warned about the plank early on, and it hasn't been a real threat throughout the day, but it has come down a couple times and cost people their afternoon.
He's going to keep his pace up here to the last line. There. Beautifully done. Nicely done. Unfortunate 4 faults keeps him just out of the jump off on this horse, but we'll see him back early on Cadillac. First back in.
Just the Artisan Farms plank comes down. It was unfortunate. Brian looked like he was really hitting his stride finally here later in the week, but he does come back on Cadillac, so we're going to see him again in a few minutes in the jump off. And wrapping us all up here for the afternoon, our last competitor of the day, we've got Braden James coming back again, this time on DJ.
And this horse is owned by the Stump Lake Ranch and Cattle Company. And I think Braid's had this ride for, I would say, this season. I think this is a relatively new partnership. This is a lovely, lovely horse. And I think we could see another. Braden could make it 2-2 for himself in the jump off if everything goes well here, Tyler.
Well, that would be, I think that we're holding fast at 10 currently, and I said 10 or 11. I was hoping for an 11 one, so let's hope Braden James can put this together, get us in the jump off. A nice 11 would be a nice size, get it really competitive, and make sure everybody has no choice but to really go for it. It's really been a treat this week. We've had just fantastic competition all the way through.
Absolutely.
We've had some big jump offs. We've had some real close finishes. Some, last night's Under the Lights show was fantastic. This morning's the drama going in with the top 5 all in the jump off for the U25. So I'm expecting another exciting finish here tonight in the jump off.
Lovely effort at jump number 1. Braden needs to keep an eye on the time with this one. That's the only thing. It's a very good jumper, but it spends a lot of time in the air. Covers the ground, but he's got to keep that in mind as he's cantering around to the triple combination here. Beautifully straight. Like I said, it's very good view for us, vantage point to make sure they're straight down that line. Coming around the corner to the careful plank. That worked out for him. Still working on a clean round.
Time does look like it could be getting sketchy here, though. So
tight. Now he needs to gallop a little bit here. Okay. Wow, great effort. Oh, great effort by the horse. Just you saw him reaching there. I was just going to say he was reaching out over B and just touched the back pole with his front feet.
Well, let's see if we can get this under the time allowed. I think that's going to be a bit of an
That's
issue
going
as
to be,
well.
yeah, we're just
And
over the time as well. So into
22nd spot.
with 5 faults. So
5
that's how
faults.
close it's been, Tyler.
81.71. So we will not be returning. And it looks like now we've got our jump off set for the afternoon. It's going to be 10, and it's going to be 10 pretty exciting ones here. We've got Brian Morton returning, Tiffany Foster coming back on Brighton, Beth Underhill on Count Me In, which we did not yet make a joke about. Aramis de Benevolo, sorry, as the graphics come in for us now. Aramis de Benevol, I struggle with that one every time, Lynn, is going to be who came through with our 4th clean ride of the day. Ben Aslan and Veyron. Finally, Ben came through with a jump off. I knew he was due. I'm glad to see him getting through to the jump off here. Number 6, Rachel Cornacchia. You said she was going to put on a good show for us, so I'm keeping my eye on her in a jump off here. And that one's on Valkyrie de Talma. Tiffany Foster coming back with a 2nd one on Northern Light, and she was our 7th one to go clear today. Emily Ward, Million in Mind. I've always liked that horse's name, and she's been having a great week, and she's coming through with our 8th clear round of the day. Number 9, Kyle King. He was probably due to show up at a jump-off sooner or later. He's going to be riding Enzo. And, of course, what would a jump-off at Thunderbird at the Harvest Welcome be if Katie Laurie wasn't in it? She was our 10th.
In the pole position, Tyler.
She was the 10th to go clear on Casebrook, Le Mans. You know, if I'm the other 9 riders, I don't like seeing her in the 10 spot because she's just going to be eyeing this up and go at everybody. And, you know, I actually had an opportunity to talk to Katie right before the class today, so why don't we just take a look back at that interview, and we'll have a little break going into the jump-off.
I'm standing with my back to the Thunderbird ring where tonight's ATCO Cup Grand Prix is about to go off just a few short hours from now, and I'm with Katie Laurie, who has put on one heck of a performance for everybody this week. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I think that you haven't had a rail down in any of your classes yet.
I think I might have had one in the jump off the other day, but yeah, it has been an incredible week here at Thunderbird.
Overall, very successful. You're a bit of a, you know, an international. We've had a hard time figuring out exactly where you're from, whether it's Australia or England or Calgary. We're claiming Thunderbird Show Park for you. This is your very first visit here, and how are you enjoying it so far?
Yeah, I can't believe I've never been here. It's absolutely amazing. I did actually come once about 10 years ago just to watch the Grand Prix, just for a day trip. So yeah, it's very, very good to be here with horses.
And what's your approach for this afternoon?
I've got 2 in again today. Sarah Caruso, the chestnut one that jumped last night, he's been on pretty good form this week, so hopefully he can give it a go. And then Casebrook Le Mans, the white stallion, he had last night off, so he should be a little bit fresher for today. But I think it'll be a tough test today with the horses in it.
Absolutely, and our favorite one-voweled horse that we've been talking about all week, I guess, gets the afternoon off.
Yeah, he's been so good the last 2 weeks, so I think he's on Christmas holidays now.
Well, that's Katie Laurie, and she'll be riding this afternoon with 2 rides through our ATCO Cup. And best of luck to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Integrity, caring, agility, collaboration. Every day, our people go to work delivering inspired solutions in structures and logistics, electricity, natural gas, retail energy, and ports and transportation to homes, businesses, and communities around the world. Find out more at atco.com.
We designed the all-new S60 to help you see things, hear things, and feel things differently. Because doing things differently is the only way to find yourself somewhere new.
Integrity, caring, agility, collaboration. Every day, our people go to work delivering inspired solutions in structures and logistics, electricity, natural gas, retail energy, and ports and transportation to homes, businesses, and communities around the world. Find out more at atco.com.
Conventional wisdom says you can't make a 400 horsepower sedan that's also environmentally conscious. We don't follow conventional wisdom.
integrity, caring, agility, collaboration. Every day, our people go to work delivering inspired solutions in structures and logistics, electricity, natural gas, retail energy, and ports and transportation to homes, businesses, and communities around the world. Find out more at atco.com.
Well, the jump crew's back and under their tent. The tractors have left the ring, and it looks like everything's just about set to get going on the jump off here with the $73,000 ATCO Cup Meter 45 Grand Prix from Thunderbird Show Park. One more quick look here at the riders that we're going to be taking a look at jumping off, and then Lynn will take us through the course. So again, we got Brian Morton on Cadillac, Tiffany Foster on Brighton, Beth Underhill, count me in, Braden James, Aramis de Beneval, Ben Aslan on Veyron, Rachel Cornacchia, Valkyrie de Talma, Tiffany Foster, Northern Light, Emily Ward, Million in Mind, Kyle King's coming in on Enzo, and of course, coming in at that 10 spots, Katie Laurie on Casebrook Lamont.
All right, and we're going to start with a new jump, number 15, way over in the far corner there, the ATCO jump. We're going to jump that coming towards the sponsors, the cabanas. We're going to do a right-hand turn. You'll see how tight they're going to turn to the ATCO Oxer, which is jump number 5. Then we're going to make, again, a very tight turn back to the artisan jump. That's jump number 6. Straight ahead 7 to the Oxer. Straight ahead 8 to our Piet Mondion jump. Turning to 4AB. You see they've taken out C. Then we're going to turn left to number 13, which was what was their last jump on course. And we're going to finish here to number 16. Now that walks a nice 6 strides. We'll see if anybody's brave enough to do 5 in the jump off.
Well, I think that the first 9 are going to have to be pretty careful and step on it. This is a good class. Like, everybody in here has a shot of winning at it, I think. And it's and we know that number 10 is going to be coming through as fast as she possibly can on this. So why don't we get to our usual spot here, Lynn, and why don't you tell me who you like here?
Do I get to pick first today?
Yeah,
oh, goodness. I don't know. This is a tough one, you know. I really think Ben's due for a win. I'd love to pick Veyron. I know you're going to want to pick Katie Laurie. I think I got to stick I got to stick with Tiffany. I got to go with Brighton again. You know, I really feel it might be his day to shine.
She's due. Let's be honest here. It would be that's certainly not out of the realm of possibility that she puts one away. I mean, I almost feel like it's cheating at this point, just taking Katie Laurie over and over and over again because it's kind of been automatic. I mean, she did have one little hiccup today, but I'm going to go with. You know what? I'm going off. I'm going to give Brian Morton and Crusador Z a little bit. Let's keep it hometown.
No, you mean Cadillac.
Sorry, Cadillac. Yeah, the first horse through. He didn't come through on Crusador Z, so let's go. He's going to come out, set the pace for us. First one in, following in Carly Stevens' footsteps.
Here we go. Brian won't be slow on Cadillac, and like we said earlier, Cadillac's fresh and ready to go and always willing to fight. So I think Brian's looking where he can go fast. He knows who's behind him, and again, there's lots of places to make up time in this jump off. So.
Well, he's just got to put his head down, set a good pace here, make sure everybody else has to take every risk possible.
And, you know, it's risky. Like, they also took out a jump at the end there. You can see from 5 to 6 could get very, very tight, the turn back there. Even this first jump can be tricky because they're going to be thinking about the turn to get to the ATCO Oxer. He did 11 strides there, just for a reference. Medium there. I'd say you'll see a lot tighter turnbacks there than Brian did.
That is where he had a hiccup on his final horse, so I wonder if he was a little gun shy of the plank.
Does one less than in the first round. He did 7 there. Really great effort by Cadillac. Now he's turning on the jet, staying inside to this big double.
That's
taking
tight.
A bit of a risk.
Oh,
and rubbed A. Rubbed A.
It popped for us, but it stayed up, Lynn.
And then, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And he does the 6. Chooses to bend that 6 and kick through the timers.
We're clean.
40.66. Way to lead it off.
We are clean. 40.66 seconds for Brian Morton. That's going to be the time to beat, but we've got 9 fast riders and horses coming after this. So we will see how long that holds up for. I hope for Brian's sake. It would be great to see him, you know, like as I said, we know he's jumped ship for Spruce Meadows, but we'll still consider him a Langley boy. So
it's nice for us. It's great. That was a great ride. Cadillac was fantastic.
And here we go with Tiffany Foster on Brighton. So you and I somehow managed to pick our first 2 in. So
I think we did this yesterday too. Tiff's going to show Brighton the turn to the combination here. I think Brighton's seen a turn like this once or 2 in his life. So she's going to pick up her gallop and keep her foot on the gas the whole way around. If we see her touch the reins, I'll be quite shocked, Tyler.
What a fun jump off. A lot of real familiar faces, especially for us. We've been watching them all week. It's going to be competitive right down to the bitter end, and it looks like Tiffany's winding up early here to hit the first one.
Here we go. Absolutely. She's got her open speed going and off and running. $11. Oh, and then just a shift there in the air. Darn it. Well, it looks like you're still winning. Nice and tight back to that plank.
I'm really curious to see what sort of time she comes in with here. Like, it's, you know.
She did the 8, but that sets her up for this turn quite nicely. Oh, she's choosing to go around, give him a little more room. She says, I've already had one down. Not worth the risk. Nice turn to that vertical.
Her time still isn't all that far off here.
And does the 6 strides there and jumped out of his boot. He jumped so high over that last jump. So
40.29. So she actually came in a little touch quicker than Brian, even going on the wide turn she took into 4A. So there's some time to be made up out here on this course, obviously. Here we might see some pretty low times by the time this is all said and done.
That's right. All right. Well, and she's got another shot at it. I think I'm taking Tiffany as the rider. Maybe I'll change my bet there, Tyler.
If only it worked that way, Lynn. If only it worked that way.
Here we go. Here's Beth and count me in. Here we go, Tyler.
All right. It's Beth Underhill, count me in. She's been hanging around all week. You never know. This could be her time to break through.
Reigning Canadian show jumping champion. This partnership can definitely do it.
She looks very serious coming out on the course here. So
yeah, just taking her time, having a look around, making sure she knows exactly where she's going to go to save that time. Try to get ahead of Brian.
Judging on the small sample size we have of just the 2 riders to go through the jump off, I think there is time to save here. I think we're going to see
Brian
a few
was
seconds.
a little lucky though. You just never know. He had that rub at 4A and it stayed up. So
I think that we're going to see somebody go do this pretty quickly before we're all said and done here.
Oh, and he just takes a little offense to that jump he hasn't seen jumping into the cabana. It's just a bit of a spook there.
Well, it took all week, but finally maybe the cabanas played a part in this. I've been calling for it for the whole week.
Wow, that's unexpected for sure. Just for sure he got distracted there, and she's got to just have a nice jump around now and say, hey, come on. That's really unfortunate for Beth today. There, she's just going to have a little school around now and make sure the rest finishes up really smoothly and she can move forward from this.
Well, it's unfortunate. She had a good week. They were looking good together. She came through and with a really nice clear round to make her way into the jump off this afternoon, and then a little trouble right off the bat. But she's been here before. She'll be here again.
That's right. It's really too bad because the horse is jumping great.
Like you said,
Little rub there at B, but
new obstacle, new jump, new look for the horse. I guess it was just a little too much to start out on.
yeah, and he hasn't been to this venue before, so it's all right.
Nice and
There
fast
we
coming in
go.
over the paintbrushes to end it all up. Few time faults, jumping fault off the bat. That'll be the end of
Beth's day today.
Beth's week, and it was a. Hope she at least had fun. She had overall she rode very well all week. So it's hopefully she goes home feeling like it was a success. Up next, Aramis Beneville, Braden James.
Nice job, nice job.
Remember I told you he was going to come back in the
That's
jump off, and
right.
I was going to get it right.
Maybe it's going to be Braden's day today, Tyler.
Oh. It was mine on the pronunciation. I was really conscious of that one because I'd made the claim that when he came back for the jump off, I was going to get it right.
That's right.
I had to make sure that I held up my end of the bargain on that. Now he can do his part and put up a 38-second round here.
It's a big horse to go that fast. We'll see if he can get it done. Again, big strided horse. He's going to cover a fair bit of ground. Again, they're all managing to get there in that 11 strides. Not that that's just for interest's sake. Pretty tight back to that plank.
Yeah, he's looking good so far. This is putting something together here. The Mondrian that we
7
love so
strides,
much.
easy. Brian did that as well. He's staying inside.
Okay.
Now the horse has to pay attention here. He's going to be a little close. Oh, and that, he just got a little bit closer than he wanted to, and it's a big horse, and he just had A and B down. That's really too bad. He took the risk. It just didn't quite work out for him as he would have liked. And
Really
nicely
too
to
bad.
finish.
Really too bad. 40.87 seconds. It probably wasn't going to get him done anyway past Brian Morton, but he does have the 8 jumping faults. He had a little trouble coming through the double at 4A, 4B, and it's going to be the end of Braden James' afternoon here for us. But we're still moving along quite nicely, and it's Ben Aslan. It's Ben Aslan and Veyron coming through. And again, I said I've been kind of feeling for Ben. I think he's been due all week. He's been riding pretty well, had a bit of bad luck here and there, and he's made his way to the jump off this afternoon in the final class that we're going to have here at Thunderbird Show Park. So let's hope Ben can put something together here.
I'm cheering for this partnership. Come on, Veyron. Veyron can go very fast. We just got to make sure that Ben stays on task, keeps his tracks as narrow and tight as he can, and he has a very good shot at it. We just need to give one little special shout out to some fans of ours that have sent a message to us. Wyatt and Ty Pack, glad you're listening.
Well, they're just supporting dad's business here, and it's Wyatt and Ty are welcome anytime. If they were down, we could pop them in here and throw a microphone on them and see what they have to say as well. But maybe that's something for next summer.
All right, let's get Veyron going here, Ben. As fast as you can go. So a couple extra strides there, but it's working on a clean. Very efficient back to this plank. Veyron gave a little kick out there to jump it clean.
Yeah, kept those back feet up into the Mondrian.
And a little bit close there. Come on, Ben.
Is it going wide?
He's going to stay a little wide to keep his pace up here. Make sure he gets straight. He wants to leave this up.
Yeah.
Come on. Get up, Veyron. Come on, Ben.
All right, we got it.
Oh,
hung
and
the
just
feet.
turned him just a little bit in the air there. Had the rail with his back feet. Darn it. Oh, and you can see Bayron's upset as well. So 4 faults into 3rd place.
4 faults into 3rd place. That's Ben Aslan. Good week for Ben. I'm sure he's a little disappointed, but he showed up in the jump off this afternoon for the ATCO Cup, so it's not leaving on a full negative note. Good for Ben.
He'll end up with a top placing here today.
We're going to see him many more times, so it's not like this is the be-all, end-all. And now Valkyrie to Talma.
I really should have picked this one. I got to change my bet. I think I'm going to take Rachel and Valkyrie. I forgot about Rachel.
Well, you called it early.
You said this was my strong favorite early.
Yeah, as soon as you told me when she first came in that if she got through, she was going to put up a fight.
I think you need to cut me some slack and let me have this one.
I don't think I have to do anything for you, Lynn. It's Rachel Cornacchia.
Come on, Rachel.
Valkyrie de Talma. And I'm really pulling for her since you do not have her as your pick.
I think I do.
It'd just be a little salt in the wounds if she could come here and put together a good round now. But it's going to be fun. I think that it's going to be.
Let's do it, Rachel. Come on. She will be very quick. That is for sure.
These are the ones that are fun to watch.
She's not going to waste any time. Already turning there before she even jumped it.
Oh, quite a bit wider than we've seen here.
That's all right. She's going to be very quick back to this plank. Mm-hmm.
Very quick back to the plank.
Come on, get up, Mare. Good. She is going to do the 8, and I think she's going to stay inside. All right. Give yourself a second here. Now give her a big kick. Good girl, Val. There we go. And turning. Come on, Rachel.
All right, now we're watching the clock here. We got to get this.
Come on, let's go.
We got to gallop. We got to gallop. And
there we go. And just not quite. Into 2nd place.
Well, as we went from 40.66, which is Brian Morton, sitting on to 40.99. She flipped the 2nd digits there on us here to pull into 2nd. But again, we're talking 0.3 of a second. These are some crazy rounds. That would have been a good call for you, Lynn. But Rachel Cornacchia's got to be happy. She's sitting in 2nd here right now.
That's great. Yep, giving her Mary a big pat. Rachel will be thrilled with that.
And here's another one that's going to be put a pretty good foot forward, I'd say. Or do you think it's Tiffany's up? Is Tiffany ready here? You think has she had enough time to get Northern Light ready to come in? Or
we'll see who's going to be her and Emily just getting warmed up together, I'd say. I see Tiffany still jumping out there in the warm-up ring, so I'd say we're going to just have a minute's wait here because I'm pretty sure Kyle and Katie don't want to go ahead. I know for sure Katie's not going to want to go ahead.
No, Katie is sitting pretty happily in that 10 spot right there, watching this. Watching these times get set for her. That's unfortunate. You know, that was a fun one. And again, we're talking here as usual. We're talking 0.3 of a second between 1st and 2nd right now, and it just doesn't seem like anybody's able to really crack through with a really quick time.
I think I see them all heading over towards the gate now. I think I see Tiffany walking out of the ring. So
they'll go back to back again. It's the coach and rider back to back seems to be the theme for them this week. They've been doing it all week. I see Tiffany. We got a quick little sneak shot through the wood of her there, so Tiffany's en route.
Does this still count as my pick?
Goodness. Why don't you just take all 10, Lynn? Tell you what, to make it really easy, why don't you just wait till it's over and then make your pick?
You know, I did say Tiffany.
Well.
Here we go. She's coming with Northern Light. And again, one of her favorites. It's a fantastic horse, and like I said, we're so lucky to be able to watch this combination just get better and better.
Tiffany always looks so, calmly disinterested when she rides into the ring. It was a different, but when she left the last time we saw her, she was grinning as big as I've ever seen her grin. So let's hope that she can put something together and leave with that same look on her face again.
Just giving the mare a little look around.
Here it is. I'd say, so far, what would you say? Like this double here right in front of us, the 4A, 4B, 4B has been kind of probably the trickiest part of the jump-off so far?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a bit, you choose whether to be inside or around, and it's a risk. So, risk versus reward.
Yeah, we've seen the back half of that front oxer come down 2 or 3 times now, and it's got to be the most commonly hit obstacle.
All right, and she's winding up. Again, like I said, we saw Northern Light win some classes here in August, so she can go fast. There's the just shifted a little in the air. So both horses had the same jump down. I'd say Tiffany's going to be practicing that angle going forward.
I mean, as expected, she's moving pretty quickly now, so she
Wow.
wants to be a quick 4 faulter.
She's still going to practice going fast on this horse. This horse needs to learn how to be the winner. And again, at that point, at this point, she's just teaching the horse to learn how to go fast. So, has a couple rails, but it definitely needs to learn from it, and it'll get better for this experience for sure. So, a couple down for Tiffany, just not quite her day, but again, great experience for the team, and we'll see much more of them in the future.
Handful of faults, but she did come in as the first person to break the 40-second mark. I'm not sure if it counts when you more or less just go on a straight line on the way there, but it's either way, Tiffany's done for the day, and we've got Emily Ward coming up next, who should be a young and fun, and she'll give this a good run at it here.
Tiff's just giving her last-minute words of advice to her, and Emily's going to pick up her pace and get on the gallop, I'd say, and get going.
Well, it's been a tough jump off. Like, it's
Absolutely.
Not,
they're all trying to catch Brian.
Yeah, and so, just like this morning, like I said, Carly Stevens went out and set a pace, and nobody else could attain it. It looks like Brian so far is off to a pretty good start, although we have Emily Ward, Kyle King, and then the always daunting Katie Laurie still to come. So I'm not ready to start handing out the awards just yet.
Emily's just showing her horse the turns, getting herself ready. I don't think she has to get this one too awake. I think this one's pretty aware of its job and knows what the task at hand is.
She does have to start thinking about getting to that first jump, though. We've only got about 7 seconds left before she times out.
Let's see here.
Oh, no. This will be a... Oh, goodness.
This is close.
Oh,
just 1 second left. That was as close as you could be.
There was a tenth of a second left on her timer before she ran through that, so...
There we go. Come on, Emily.
Nice and tight to the plank. Whoa.
Yeah, this horse knows its job, I'd say.
And it looks like, what happened here? There was a little bit of a stunt. Yeah.
There we go. Okay, come on, Emily.
Piet stays up for her.
Get up, get up.
Tight.
A little off to the right. There we go. And go, go, go. Come on, Emily.
All right, we got to go.
Let's. Just got turned a little bit in the air there.
Started looking early. And it would have been
just behind Brian anyways. One down. But that was exciting for us.
Yeah, makes sense. We're really getting the patterns. We've had a 40.66, a 40.88, and a 40.99 here so far. So what's next here? We need a 40.33 out of somebody to come in and win this thing.
We need an under 40.
Yeah, so Kyle King, Enzo up next. He's probably pretty happy to be back in the jump off.
Kyle loves to go fast, so I don't think we'll see him pulling on the reins much today either.
Well, it seems like that. I'll tell you, that 40-second mark is going to be the one that seems to be real tough to beat. He's taking a look at the double here that seems to be giving everybody a little bit of trouble. I'm still, I don't know if I've ever seen in all my years watching this somebody come so close to running out of time into the first jump.
Yeah, in the jump off for sure.
Didn't help her any. The scoreboard was behind her. She couldn't see that.
Probably better. All right, here's Kyle winding up on Enzo, heading to jump number 15.
Taking the wider approach here.
Still same number of strides as Brian. Go.
All right, this is a chance to make up a little ground here.
Yeah, this is a big moving horse, Tyler, so here we go. He's going to keep his ground speed up and choose to go around. Played a little bit safe. No, and just didn't pay off for him.
That same one.
Unfortunate 4 faults.
That 4A has just been trouble all the way through this. That's the one.
Sure has. Brian just got a little lucky and it happened to stay up for him.
It's
there we go. 40.88 again. There you go.
40.88. This is just the one of those. I don't know.
Same time as Emily Ward.
Bang on the same time as Emily Ward. That's interesting. That's doesn't happen very often. I think one of the things that's probably a little awkward is you can't even really see it on this angle, but it's actually over a 90-degree turn trying to come back into 4A here. It's pointing a little bit back towards that far right corner, and so I'm sure that's probably playing a little bit. It's a bit of an overturn to get into it.
All right, now here's your favorite.
Well, I don't think it's necessarily just my favorite. I think it is the favorite this week. Katie Laurie is like I said, an opportunity to speak with her a bit, very soft-spoken, and didn't want to give herself too much credit. So I'm going to take the opportunity to say that she has had one heck of a week that we've been enjoying all the way through. And I'd be pretty, even though I took Brian, who's sitting in the lead right now, I would forfeit my win to see her go out on a victory this afternoon. I'd be pretty happy for her if she could put this away.
I think she'll be quite well. She's going to give it a go. That's for sure. Haven't toned her yet. Giving Sparky a bit of a tour. There we go. All right, let's see if she can better Brian Morton's time.
Time to beat again. We're looking for 40.66 seconds. That's what we've got to come in under. And it's so, I mean, really, that's I guess that turn out of 1 to 2, the first to the second, the ATCO jumps is somewhere that people seem to be shaving. But really, it seems like the big one to get through here is 4A. If we can get through 4A cleanly and with a bit of speed, then we're going to really see somebody, because they can open up a little bit to the end of the paintbrushes here and try to steal some time back.
Here we go. Oh, there we go, and Brian wins it. Wow.
Over
Katie
right
has
off
the first jump down. That jump caused more of a problem than we would have thought today.
Absolutely, yeah, it sure did. And again, like you said, a little bit of a different look, jumping at the cabanas. There's a lot going on right behind it, and that's too bad. I'm disappointed for Katie, but you know what? She's got to go home feeling pretty happy about what she's done here this week, regardless of how she's ending it here this afternoon.
And great for Brian Morton and Cadillac. Bruce Meadows will be happy. Excellent partnership Brian's making with that horse. Gosh, he'll be thrilled. Woo!
Well, made a move,
Gosh,
but they stayed up.
Good.
And that was so the theme of the day. Carly Stevens came in first to the jump off this morning, the U25s. She put it away. Brian Morton and Cadillac are the first.
Wow, that was great.
Still a little slower there. She's going to move into 6th place with a 41.40. And our champion this afternoon, maybe from Spruce Meadows, maybe from Langley, British Columbia, it's Brian Morton and Cadillac. Our first into the jump-off with a time of 40.66, and that was enough to hold it together and take home the $73,000 ATCO Cup Meter 45 Grand Prix from Thunderbird Show Park to close out the 2020 Harvest Welcome. That was a heck of a week around here, Lynn. I don't know about you, but I had a lot of fun.
It was a fantastic week. What a great facility. They did a fantastic job hosting the FEI 2-Star. I think talk to anybody here. We all had a great time competing. I mean, sure, it'd be nice if it was a bit warmer, but we can't control the weather. So we need to just cheer for everybody that's here and be happy for the results that we all got.
Yeah, and again, just as we close out, a big, huge thank you to Thunderbird Show Park for doing everything they could to make sure we had a safe, fun, and successful show season. There was a time this year when we didn't know if this would happen, and look at us sitting here today at an FEI event in October and in Thunderbird show jumping outdoors when typically we're all done for the year around here. All our sponsors have been fantastic. ATCO, Volvo. They've helped us put on a fantastic week here. All of the riders put on a great show. Everybody came out to compete. The U25 classes. Everything was unbelievably fun. Thank you to you, Lynn. It's been a lot of fun doing this with you. And you never know if they ever invite me back, we can probably do this again. But it looks like we're going to be on a little break now. So safe travels back to Alberta. Thank you, everybody that's joined us on the broadcast, the live stream all week today. Everything that we've done, we really appreciate it. And that's us signing off from Thunderbird Show Park for the 2020 season.
Thanks, everyone.
Very important. No, no.
Nice. Womp womp.
ring, the chairman of the board and CEO of ATCO, and we will now present first place for the $73,000 ATCO Cup Grand Prix to our champion, Brian Morton and Cadillac. And with that victory program for the class, congratulations to Brian and Cadillac. Cadillac Cup medals. As well, more good news for Brian and Cadillac here. Thunderbird President Jamie Tisdale presenting with that bonus check as they are the overall series champion winners as well. And now, CEO of ATCO Cup.
Thank you. I just wanted to say on behalf of ATCO, congratulations to Brian and his terrific jump off ride on Cadillac and all the competitors today. Really was top show jumping. Most importantly, on behalf of all riders and all the people of ATCO and all of us here, I want to thank Jamie Tisdale, Chris Pratt, and the entire T-Bird team. How fabulous for us to be able to have this opportunity in this COVID to be able to come and jump in an FBI two-star event. Thank you so much on behalf of all of us, Jamie. It really has been extraordinary. Your attention to detail, striving for the highest standards, and caring about everybody here. True excellence. Thank you.
And now, we do have one more tradition to attend to. Your ladies and gentlemen, it is time for our champions, Brian Morton and Cadillac, to take a solo victory lap around the ring in today's Victory Ride. Congratulations.